So we are here with Adam from Sony Online Entertainment. This is H1Z1. Adam, what's your title?
Game designer.
Game designer. Okay. H1Z1. It is a open world survival horror game.
Yeah,
kind of how would you describe it?
I like to call it MMOSRPG, which is kind of cheesy, but it's basically a survival MMO set in a zombie post-apocalyptic universe. So basically, as you see here, we're 64 square kilometers at early access, but we're actually working on tech to make it so we can expand seamlessly as basically as large as we want to go. We're even talking about stuff later down the road where we want to be as large as the United States. So what you see is basically what you can actually see players doing. All these trees down here can be chopped down, and if you can see a tree, you can see it getting chopped down. So if you're running over here in the distance and this tree falls over all of a sudden, you're like, uh-oh, there's somebody over there. Is he a new player or is he an experienced player? I don't know. Do I want to stay away from him? So let me actually run down here and show you a little bit of the tree chopping goodness. You start out with basically not very much. I have a wood axe and I have some animal fat that I got from killing a deer earlier. But so you basically, your inventory is your level. So as you play the game and find things in the world, that's how you really level up in this game. And so players that are really geared up with a lot of weapons and backpack and things like that, they're basically higher level. So I have wood logs, right? This is how we actually learn things in the game. Here's my crafting window. I only know 5 recipes right now. How I learn new recipes is through the discovery system. So I put this like wood log in here. I discover, what does it give me? Wood planks. I can go back here. Okay, now I can make wood planks. I can do the same thing with the animal fat. Now I can make fuel, right? So that's how players basically learn the game as they're playing. It depends on what they find in the world. We have over 100 recipes right now, with more coming every day. That's basically how the crafting works in the game. It's a big pillar of the game. Players are going to be able to base build. I can show you a little bit later through crafting. They're going to be able to make a bow and arrow through crafting. It's a big part.
Okay, so you're gathering resources, you're crafting, you're building stuff, but why? What are you doing it for?
So the big part of the game is world PvP. Player-to-player interaction is huge in this game, so you're basically trying to get yourself in a situation to where you can survive and deal with players at the same time. Maybe you want to go and hunt players, maybe you want to make friends and actually go survive and build a compound, and maybe you want to build a really cool base and then kind of like make sure that it's your own and you can come back to it at any time. It's basically a sandbox world that the players can create, and they create their own stories.
Is there any other danger besides other players that you'll run into?
We have wolves and bears and zombies. So those are the big 3 other than the players, but the players are really the most dangerous because they're so, you never know what they're going to do. So here's like a container in the world at this camp, and players can actually put stuff in any container, and they can maybe lock it and say that it's theirs, but if they die, those locks come off and anybody can loot now. It's free game. Or they don't even put a lock on it and they're just like, no one's going to come here for the next hour. I'm going to save some stuff in here and go try to find more things. If I die, I can always come back to this crate. Hopefully my stuff's still there when I come back. But this is like simulating something like that. Like I would totally score here. Like I just found a lot of stuff in this crate. I can loot and then smash and grab and get out of here. But basically that was stuff that I needed to show you later for base building. But the world containers are a big part of the game too. So here's a vehicle. Vehicles are actually randomly spawned throughout the world. You can actually repair them. Eventually we want to make it so there's damage states, so you can go up to a vehicle, maybe it doesn't have a battery, maybe it doesn't have any fuel. This one luckily is working, and so I can show you. Vehicles are actually they're double-edged swords, because now I can travel through the world at a much faster pace, but I'm making a ton of noise, and all these people up on these mountains, right, they can all see me driving down this road. You really have to know where you're going when you have a vehicle. But one of the cool things of the vehicle is you can actually run over zombies, run over players. It definitely helps.
Running over zombies is always a good thing.
Yes, it's always fun. But this is the type of let me try to not die. So this warehouse here, this is like a big area that we can have for loot. and we want to make sure that it's not just empty without there being some type of danger going on. That's why these zombies are here. So I can't just stay in here forever. I kind of have to look, you know, maybe I'm trying to run at the zombies, maybe I'm trying to kill them, but I'm basically feeling threatened. I don't want to stay here forever. And I can loot some stuff, get in, get out, keep going on the way, run over some more zombies.
Now, it being an MMO, so I'm guessing it's persistent online, right?
Yeah.
So if you would say clear out that area of like the zombies and stuff and start building up, you know, a fort there or whatever, is that something you can do and basically own that area with other players?
If I wanted to, I could go into that warehouse and barricade the walls and the windows with my own barricades that I crafted, and now that's my warehouse.
Gotcha. Cool.
So this is like a more smaller open camp, but as you can see, there's still zombies walking around. It's still a threat. It's not something that, you know, the loot in this game is always protected somehow by zombies, or maybe the players are setting up traps. Here's fuel for my vehicle, so now I can actually fill up my my vehicle. You know, it's all about discovery and exploration and PvP, and ultimately survival. Let me drive up to here. So I can show you now is a little bit of base building. Let me go up to this flat area that I have over here that shows off base building really well. What players will probably most likely do is build their base like deep into the forest. They don't want really to be seen, or maybe they do, right? Maybe somebody wants to build a base here to be a big griefer, and they're just gonna wait for people to walk up to it and kill them, you know? So it's all up to what the player's intentions are. So let's see. So I can place this wooden stilt foundation, and this is a rather large one, and I can just place it, you know, anywhere in the world. If it's red, that means I can't place it. It has to be on flat ground. But I can place it in the world, and then it's mine. I can then build on top of that foundation, and this is mine to basically, you know, I have other things here like a large structure. I can put it in the world anywhere that I want to kind of like pop it down. There you go. This is a dew collector, so when it rains, you know, I can get water. We have vitals in our game. Okay. Health, stamina, hunger, and thirst that you always have to keep track of. It helps you survive in the world. It's basically something to make sure the players are always on their toes. They're always trying to make sure that they can, that they're not hungry, they're not thirsty, that they actually can survive an encounter.
So what happens if one of those meters runs out? Like, what happens when you die?
If you die, you lose everything. You lose all your stuff. Actually, what happens is my corpse turns into, right now, it turns into a backpack, and if that stays there for 3 minutes, it turns into a zombie with all my stuff on it. So you can actually go see yourself again with all your gear if you find the zombie again. Players will definitely find a lot of awesome zombie loot.
Interesting.
Yeah, but no, this is basically my place now, right? So that's showing off a little bit of the base building. There's a lot of different foundations. This is just a wooden one. We have a concrete foundation. We have a dirt foundation. We have smaller sheds and shacks. So for newer players, they're not going to build like this big foundation right away. They're going to have like a smaller shed type of thing. But that's something that is really cool about our game, is that we are a zombie survival MMO, but we also have base building. As I show you the
where's the game at right now? Is it in an alpha or closed beta?
So
or
we're calling ourselves pre-alpha. When we get to alpha, as I drive up this road, that's when we probably will launch early access, when we're proud of the alpha that we have. We want to make sure gotta stop for the deer.
Wow.
If we don't launch something that we're not proud of, then the players will also, it'll show. We want to make sure we have things that like prone. Right now we don't have prone. We're not going to launch an early access without prone, because that's something that players expect us to have. You know, there's a list of things that players want in a game like this, and if we don't touch at least the basics of that, then we're not ready for early access and we're not alpha. So right now we're at pre-alpha.
Okay, so obviously one of the big competitors to a game like this is DayZ. That's, you know, it's been insanely popular now. I think it's still early access or beta or wherever they're sitting. You know, what do you see as your strengths compared to DayZ, or even I guess another big one like this is Rust, which has been grown in popularity?
Yeah, so those are huge titles. They're awesome. We're trying to actually kind of be our own game. rather than being compared to one another or trying to be better than another game, we're actually just trying to make our own zombie survival game. What do we want in a zombie survival game? What are the movies that we like? What are the TV shows that we like to watch? Let's make a game like that. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it so it feels like you're in a zombie apocalypse. That's basically, and the best thing to do is once we make it so it feels that way, which I think we've been doing pretty well, then we add all the features that players expect from other games like that.
So it looks like this maybe is taking place Pacific Northwest or something like that. Do you have a locale in mind for where this is based?
Yeah, so this is actually, it feels like anywhere America, right? But it's going to look like Pacific Northwest Oregon, right? Eastern Oregon, I would say. Oh my gosh, as I click with no ammo, hold on. I have to actually put the ammo in the gun. That would actually help. There we go. But yeah, so it's gonna feel like the Eastern Oregon, but the actual town that we're building is anywhere America. So it's like a smaller suburb. Maybe the highway is a 2-lane highway that has little pit stops here and there. But as we grow and expand the world, we'll get to major cities and major things like that. We're just starting with this.
Now you said the world itself, was it 64 kilometers or 64?
Yeah, 64 square kilometers
right.
is the world. But we want to expand to even larger than that, and it's really limitless.
And how many players does that support within it?
So we can actually support up to thousands of players, but I don't think that's the number we want in the world right now. We're gonna actually, as I try to avoid the zombies, here we go. We definitely want to try to make it so you don't see players all the time everywhere, because I don't think that actually feels very good. So we're just going to tune the numbers for the game when early access starts. We'll have our number in mind. If that's too many, we can easily pull back. If it's not enough, we can put more people in.
Cool. It looks good. I like the style. It's definitely got a good
Awesome.
good look to it.
Yeah, thanks. Here, let me show you something really cool. So
cheats. Here come the cheats.
Here comes the hacks, right? So here's daytime. Sunny day, right? Doesn't really feel like a zombie apocalypse, but in the apocalypse there are sunny days still. It might be sunny for a couple days, 3 days maybe, but then eventually it'll also be gloomy, right? You'll wake up and it'll feel like it's foggy, right? One day you'll wake up again and it'll be, a light rain that you can see, right? Maybe it'll wake up and it'll be a full-on pouring rain shower, right? So our weather is really dynamic, and it's based on our 24-hour day-night cycle when it chooses to actually change the weather. So
cool. All right. Any other standout features you want to mention before we go?
Basically, I just want to make sure that people know to go to H1Z1.com and actually get involved in the community. We're all about open development on this project. We launched the game through, we announced the game through Twitch TV, and we've been doing nothing but interacting with our players on our Reddit, /r/H1Z1. So definitely check that out.
Awesome. All right, well, thanks for your time. This was H1Z1 from Sony Online Entertainment. It looks really good, especially if you like that open world survival horror. What was the term you gave it again?
I said MMOSRPG, which is kind of corny, but MMO. It's a survival MMO zombie apocalypse.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.